On today's show, the Washington Wizards get the win over the Milwaukee Bucks. Jamir Watkins proved he is a problem, and this Wizards fan base might just be back.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
DC family, you are locked on to the Washington Wizards. We're your part of our family. We thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in the nation. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Alongside the DC Sports content creating savant, very happy he's dancing as always after a win. That's Abdullah Ayyubi. I'm Ben Strober, and I cover the Washington Wizards for Roundtable IO. 109-99. The Wizards have won back-to-back games. AB, John Wall, ceremony here tonight. It was a fun one.
A lot of Dougies, Ben. It's only rightfully so. 2 wins in a row, only giving up 99 points. What a day for the Wiz, baby.
Let's go, man. On today's show, we tell you why Jamir Watkins is a problem for opposing teams' offenses. He was awesome tonight, and I think he's really shown me some things over these last couple of games, why he could be a piece here for the future. In the second segment, we tell you why Alex Sarr looks like a dominant center that he can be in this league. And this Wizards fan base, I think they might just be back. Tonight was a good sign of the fan base coming back to life. Let's get right into it. Jamir Watkins is a problem for opposing offensives. Bottom line, that is a fact. That's been proven time and time again in the opportunities where he's played this year. Only one game now for Jamir Watkins. He was, I thought, incredible in this game tonight. Just his ability to stop whoever came his way every single time was, honestly, it amazed me. 21 minutes tonight for Jamir Watkins, who finished with just a steal and a block, but his defensive impact was felt much larger than just the stocks. I think he also had 9 rebounds in the game as well. Watkins just looked like the lockdown guy we thought he could be when he was drafted by this team in the second round. You take a flyer on a 24-year-old player because you want him to be a defensive stopper. He impacts the game so much. I think he's the reason they won this game today.
I mean, Ben, you looked at me and said, hey, he has hands. The fact that he gets his hands in the passing lane and the athleticism. There was a play where Will Riley saved the ball, threw it over his head, and Jamir just jumps out of the gym when there's a guy probably taller than him that could have grabbed it. Jamir, what he gives you, I need to see that for the rest of the year, Ben. I said it in the recent podcast. I don't want to see him play for the Capital City Go-Go anymore. Obviously, I love development, but Jamir needs to get as many minutes as he can. And tonight, 21 minutes, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. The tips, I want to see if you can count. I mean, there's probably a stat out there where how many times he tipped the ball, leading to a steal. And there was a play defensively where I think it was on Bobby Portis or Miles Turner where Jamir stood his ground, hands up, no foul call. I mean, this is beautiful. And the offensive game, honestly, I don't care. He doesn't need to average 20 points per game. Give me 8 to 10 points per game. If you're doing that defensively, I mean, tonight, Ben, the Wizards only gave up 99 points, and Jamir Watkins was a big part of that. On average, this team gives up 123. That's progress right there.
I think he's been a big reason they've made the progress. AB, defensively, what this guy brings to the table is not just about his abilities and him using his wingspan and his athleticism to his advantage. He just understands how to play defense better than most players I've seen at his age. I mean, I guess he's 24 compared to like 19-year-olds that play for this Wizards team. But for a guy that's a first-year player in the NBA, he understands team defense and individual defense better than most guys do in their first season. His ability to read passing lanes, his ability to get in the help side, deflect balls, like everything Watkins has done defensively to me has amazed me because it just seems like he possesses such a high basketball IQ. And that's what it is, bottom line, because you know a guy like that who's going to make his money in this league playing defense, he's going to give you the effort, he's going to give you the intensity. He picks up 94 feet. It's incredible to see. But Watkins gets it from the mental standpoint, and I think that's what makes him such a problem for opposing offenses. You put him on the best player every single night if you can for certain minutes, and you're going to be successful. He's already done it against some of the best of them tonight. I love the way he got out there, was on the primary ball handling, getting in Ryan Rollins' grill every single time, getting in Kyle Kuzma's grill all night.
Wizards fans love that, Ben.
Watkins was unbelievably impressive to me, and he's really showing why he's going to stick in this league because of his defensive ability alone. The offense is absolutely a work in progress. It looks pretty ugly at times, if we're being honest, but there's going to be a lot of time for him to develop that part of his game. He is impacting the game in so many different ways right now without even really doing a single thing offensively.
And this is a room where going into the season, we talked about how it's a crowded wing room, and he's taking advantage of his opportunities. Tonight, no Marvin Bagley, obviously Ken Whitmore out for the season, Tristan Vucevic out with the left hamstring. Jamir Watkins takes advantage of those minutes that he gets, and it's great to see from where he was start the season to now. You see the progress, and this is a second-round pick, and during the previous regimes, second-round picks, I'll keep saying it, just didn't pan out, and they wouldn't, and at least not this early. Tristan Vucevic, Jamir are the only second-round picks on this roster. Thomas Satoransky is probably the only guy you can name when it comes to second-round picks as long as I've been a Wizards fan. And once that jump shot's there, I mean, we saw the proof in the pudding in the summer league, Ben, where he had a crazy amount of steals in the summer league game, and it's like he's gonna do that when it matters most. And tonight, guarding Kyle Kuzma getting a lot of boos. It was awesome. The Wizards fan base being electric. Jamir Watkins was a big part of it, and I want to see how his role expands in year two, because there's a lot of young guys on the squad, and you have a top 5 pick, hopefully coming soon, top 4. Jamir is going to be a problem when this team starts competing, Ben.
I think he's going to be a pivotal part of a team that wants to compete. And look at the last 2 nights. Defensively, they've been a lot better. And Milwaukee, let me be honest with you here. Let me be honest with everybody that's listening.
Here we go.
Milwaukee without Giannis is awful. I'd say they're worse than the Wizards right now. And I think the fact that the Wizards beat them in 3 of 4 meetings this year, and that the one loss was the season opener. The Bucks are terrible. I think Doc Rivers might get fired.
I mean, where have we seen that story before, Ben, though?
They're a really bad team. Like, hypothetically, they're supposed to be good, but without Giannis, their star player, they look awful. They can't make a shot. What did they shoot tonight? 10 of 38 from 3. Remember the first game of the season where Milwaukee shot, what was it, like 57% from 3 in the first half of that game? Something ridiculous. They've completely regressed, especially the way they shoot the basketball. They are not a good basketball team. The Wizards right now, as the youngest team in the NBA, I think is a better basketball team than the current Milwaukee Bucks, without Giannis, of course. That's the caveat, but still, I think that means something, and I think the fan base is starting to realize what this Wizards team is doing right now. And I'm kind of going to derail it off the Jamir Watkins stuff right here, because it was John Wall's celebration night. So what a way for the Wizards to honor him by getting a win, him getting out at midcourt and saying, this is still my city, this is my home. Great scene, great reception from the fan base. There were loud, audibly loud, let's go Wizards chants, defense chants. And this fan base felt more alive than it's been in years. And I had people texting me saying they were watching the game on a national stage on Amazon Prime. Keep that in mind. The Young Guns just played on basically a national stage and found another way to close out this game. I think the fan base here in D.C. is starting to realize that the light at the end of the tunnel is coming, and there's going to be a real reason to buy back into this team, buy back into this organization that's trying to build this thing through the right way finally.
We had Kevin Harlan in the house tonight, Ben. A lot of primetime games in the future for this Wizards squad. In the first half, I was up there in the nosebleeds, and my God, there are some passionate fans up there. There are Wizards fans out there, and they're going to be coming out of that shell soon once this team starts competing next year, and it's exciting. And John Wall night, it felt like a jersey retirement, Ben, but it is what it is. It was still great to say that it's still his city, it's still his house, repping the Wizards. And you remember those days watching John. He was the reason why I started watching basketball, the 360 layups, the crafty passes, the altercation he had with Quincy AC, the Game 6 shot. How could I forget about that? He meant everything to this city. And tonight, the fact that you win and only give up 99, great job by the Wiz kids.
I think there's real signs of progress by this team. It's another night where it was close at the end of this game, and you felt like Washington might give it away, but it didn't. It once again found a way to close out a game. That's legitimate progress. These young guys are figuring out how to win basketball games. They're not going to win too many of them. Do not worry about that. I'd have to check the tank standings. I know like one win can basically drastically change everything, but there's a lot of time left in the season, and tonight really felt like another night where there was progress being made because the Wizards didn't even play their best basketball whatsoever. I think this game was pretty ugly for a lot of it, if I'm being honest with you, but they made plays down the stretch. Bilal wrestling with Kyle Kuzma down on the baseline, and Kuzma was screaming for a foul. That was an electric moment in the fan base. The crowd got into it. I was excited to see Bilal come up with a big stop there. Sarr had a big bucket down the stretch. I thought Keyshawn George was good late in this game as well. Those are the young guns getting it done on a national stage, finding another way to close one out, AB.
I mean, I know the tank crowd is upset you win 2 in a row, but how can you not be excited for a game like this where the Bucks probably thought it was going to be an easy win even without Giannis, but the series is 3 of 4, and it's exciting because this is what we want to see. Last year and the year before, at this point, we didn't have 12 wins, and from where you are now, seeing how these guys compete, Alex Sarr, the progression in year 2, doing this on a night where the fans are saying, go Wizards, it just felt like 2017 vibes. It felt like we were back in middle school, Ben. And obviously this team's not making the playoffs this year. But next year, expectations are going to be different. And I expect a lot of fans to be here in Capital One in every home game.
I think it's time to get excited. Another thing to be excited about, Alex Sarr, who had a career high in rebounds tonight. He's starting to look like what he can be as a rebounder. We tell you why when we come back. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever just to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload those documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver, and it gives real peace of mind to know that an expert is handling something so important for you. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150, all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com to book your appointment today. How about the performance from Alex Sarr tonight, coming off a massive performance in the win over Portland, where he had 29 points in 6 blocks and 2 steals. Sarr tonight was different than he typically had been in some of these dominant wins for the Wizards. He didn't do as much scoring the basketball. Still a respectable 16 points on 6 of 13 shooting, decent efficiency, 1 for 3 from behind the arc. He was a +3. But Sarr grabbed 17 boards in this game, AB. I need your thoughts on that.
That's a career high right there, Ben, if I'm not mistaken. Alex Sarr,
it is.
The naysayers that saying he's a forward, not a center. What you got to say about that? I mean, and he's doing that against Miles Turner, a really good center in today's NBA. I think the sky's the limit. We just made a video talking about how he's a potential superstar, a top 3, top 5 center in this league. And 17 rebounds, Ben. I think if you're a Wizards fan right now, you have to be excited about the potential of him playing alongside Trae Young, because he's doing this, and obviously rebounds, double-double with 16 points. He's doing this without a guy that can lob him the ball. I mean, it's going to be so exciting, the Trae Young to Alex Sarr connection here in Capital One. And from where Alex was to start his rookie year to now, it just, the development. You got to tip your hats off to the coaching staff. I know people don't want to give Coach Kidd credit to anything. Will Dawkins, what he's doing. Small tangent, by the way. Jordan Poole did not play tonight, so it's just small things like that where you see
really
with
not?
Yeah, he had a DMP, or at least yesterday or today. I saw on Twitter, and everyone was saying, "Hey, you traded, what was it, Jordan Poole for Trae Young, and that guy is not playing anymore." No shots taken. Also, a lot of Wizards fans in the crowd making chants. So it is what it is. But back to Alex Sarr, Ben. I love it. He's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate for many years to come. Most improved, hopefully, next year. It's going to be hard this year because I know Denny's going to win it. All-Star, Wemby, Şengün, Sarr. Those are the names you're going to hear moving forward. Alex Sarr.
I love it. I love that nickname. Big Eiffel, another awesome one as well. He's the centerpiece right now of what this Wizards team is trying to do, build around this guy. Now, I'm not saying like he's the cornerstone, like your superstar that you might get in this upcoming draft if you land a top pick, a Darren Peterson or an AJ DeBonsa or Cam Boozer, whatever it may be. Take your pick of any of those elite level studs that are upcoming in this NBA draft class. But no, like, you got to give a lot of credit to what Sarr has done here in year number 2, consistently improving his game. And now David Aldridge, the Don of DC Sports, as I like to call him, he brought something up really interesting in the press conference, a great question to Brian Keefe. He said, do you ever show Alex film of Marcin Gortat setting John Wall screens? Sorry, I had to mute the mic for a second. Somebody was yelling some explicits.
Someone was really excited they visited John Wall.
Look, man, John Wall brings a lot out of this is crazy. Somebody is dropping F-bombs left and right. Okay, let me try to get. What was I even saying? Okay, yeah. So they're showing
David Aldridge.
David Aldridge asked Keefe if they show Sarr film of Wall and Gortat running the pick and roll, and we know how deadly that combination was here in DC. That was the bread and butter. And I think Sarr has actually gotten a lot better. And I think as of recently, he was one of the top players in the league, points per possession, coming out of the screen and roll and averaging the most screen assists per possession. I think Sarr has really made strides in his game setting screens. And if you're learning from the best, because Marcin Gortat had that aspect to his game where he would set the screen and then seal the guy off. And I think Sarr has tried to emulate that type of screen setting. And when you have Trae Young added to the equation for that, I think it's looking a lot better with Bub Carrington as well as of recently. But when you have Trae Young out there, a guy that led the league in assists last year, that's going to be a really interesting combination working out of the pick and roll. And it's good to hear that he's taking notes from somebody that was maybe the best to do it in our era setting screens.
The Wizards, you know what they need to do, Ben? They need to go find Marcin Gortat wherever he is, probably in Poland, bring him here to Capital One Arena or the practice facility and teach Alex Sarr the art of setting screens, and then Trae Young picking up some tips from John Wall. I think with Alex's offensive game, he's only going to get better from shooting it from the outside, and he's got a lot more confident. And one thing that he did, Ben, he really talked the talk and walked the walk, because going into the season, it was a question about his shot selection and him being reluctant to go inside the paint, hesitating at times when he has a smaller guy on him. But he looks so much different now. And this is a 20-year-old kid. This is a kid who played overseas, who's adjusting to the NBA style of the game. And you can't say enough nice things about this kid in year 2, and he's only going to get better. And the athleticism that he gives you, we just haven't had a big like that. God bless Marcin Gortat, like I mentioned, but this guy, Sarr, has the athleticism. He can take you off the dribble, score at all 3 levels, protect the rim, just had 6 blocks, a career high. I mean, so many things, when you add them together, you say you have a star in the making. And a weak draft class. That was considered a weak draft class in 2024. I'm excited for his future here in DC, Ben.
I am as well. And it's interesting because I think tonight showed me a way Washington will lose a lot of games, because they ran this lineup multiple times in this game, and I think it varied a little bit, like a couple different substitutions. But yeah, Marvin Bagley is out right now with an injury. He could get traded. Scott Labissiere, they called up from the go-go. He didn't even check into the game tonight. But they ran lineups with 0 big man out there, and there was no flow offensively at those times. They basically had 5 players that can't really create their own shot out there at one time, whether it was Branham, Champagnie, Will Riley at the time. And like, a lot of these guys are young, so I'm not saying they're never going to be able to create their own shot, but they were running some pretty atrocious looking lineups that had no big out there. In the second half of the season, when Sarr's not out there, unless you're getting some run for Tristan Vukcevic, who I think has been a problem for Washington defensively, for their own team, but you might see that type of lineup to ensure that they do drop some of these games, because if they run a lineup like that for too long, it'd get really, really ugly. Those lineups without a big out there were pretty hard to watch.
That's a lineup that you throw out there when you try not to win. I'll say that, Ben. Yeah, this team looks a lot different when Alex Sarr is not on the floor, and you can clearly see it. I hope that moving forward, Alex, the whole minute restriction, Ben, I don't think he's on it anymore, right? There's no more talks about that?
I mean, he's been playing significant minutes as of recently.
Tonight he played 32.
Yeah, I think he had 36 the other night as well. So it seems like that's over. We do have to mention that Trey Johnson left this game with an ankle sprain. Ryan Rollins came down on his foot when he knocked down a jumper from the corner. It's kind of a shame of me to like not bring that up until now. He was walking around and he stayed in the game, shot the free throw, but they kept him out at halftime. Hopefully that's a precautionary thing, but we'll have to wait and see what the update looks like. And obviously you play the Lakers in this building tomorrow. Luka Doncic has an ankle injury right now, but he's questionable to play. So it'll be interesting to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Trey the night off on the back-to-back, but we'll see. He's going to want to play.
Yeah, definitely against the Lakers. Bronny Jr. and Senior up here in Capital One, trying to go for 3 wins in a row. Man, this is what I'm talking about. This is good cultural wins, good vibes in the district. I mean, we talked to Jason Smith before the game. Will Dawkins, very nice guy. I crossed paths with Rachel Nichols in the media room. It's a fun time to be a Wizards fan because you see what they're building, and just be patient. That draft lottery 2026 can't come sooner, man.
I can't wait, man. It's exciting times. Tonight felt like another step forward for this team. What do the fans have to say? Let's find out when you guys let it all out when we come back here in the Locked On Wizards post-game show. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming between subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month. It's easy to feel like you're losing control, and who has time to track down every transaction or hunt down those hidden fees? That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I was shocked when Rocket Money showed me I was still paying for my gym membership that I had back in college. I completely forgot about it, and now I'm saving so much more money as a result. I love how it tracks all my subscriptions and lets me cancel them right in the app with just a few taps. So no more hunting down customer service numbers, dealing with all of that crap. The automatic transaction categorization is a game changer. I can finally see exactly where my money is going each month. You can set budgets and goals, get personalized insights, and receive real-time alerts for large transactions, upcoming bills, and low expenses. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Remember, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. It's another W for the Washington Wizards on John Wall night. Good vibes from the fan base. I feel like it's starting to awake AB. What do fans in the chat have to say? It's time to let it all out. Let us know what they're thinking.
Of course, we have to start off with the one and only Locked On Law, who says Locked On Effort. He also says, reminder, Bobby Portis was a Washington Wizard. I love Bobby Portis in here, Ben. He was a guy that can definitely give you 15 to 20 points a game, and the size and energy that he brings. Uptown Dre, what's up, my brethren? Joker, Rollins working. We had him also. Yeah, we all know how that situation went down, but at the end of the day, it was good for both parties. Ryan Rollins is now balling out in Milwaukee, and the Wizards could potentially land Darren Pearson in this upcoming draft. El Chorizo 202. What's up, man? That's a funny picture right there that you have. About to be 2 in a row. Yeah, and again, it's 2 in a row, and you're going for 3 tomorrow against the Lakers. Right now, you're at 12 wins, so I don't know where are we right now, Ben, in the tank standings, if I'm looking at it correctly?
I'm looking right now, and we actually got a comment right here from Where Fans Meet. Where are we in these tank rankings? I'm getting nervous. So Washington is now tied for 4th. They're tied with 4 teams with 12 wins right now. They're technically 4th overall. They're a game and a half back of number 1 overall, which is held by Sacramento. They're 12 and 37. Why do these teams have so many more games than us? I don't really even understand that right now. But 5 right now is owned by Brooklyn. We're a half game away from that. They're 12 and 33. And then there's a bit of a gap between them and Utah. And Utah has 15 wins right now. So 2 wins can actually do a lot in terms of the tank standings. But there's a lot of time left in the season. I think the Wizards will take appropriate measures to make sure things go according to plan here. I mean, you heard today on the B. Mitch and Finley show, Zach Leonsis was on there as a guest, and he said, yeah, we feel like we have a young core in place here. We're developing players, and we really hope that we're going to have a top pick in this draft. So, I mean, that's a guy basically directly up there in ownership saying they know how important that top pick is going to be. They understand, guys. They're not dumb. So
Speaking of top pick, Darren Pearson and AJ DeBonza, I think it's Saturday, right, Ben? Every Wizards fan should watch.
Yeah, I'll be locked into that. Locked on.
He says, yeah, John Wall night was electric. Every Dougie was definitely done out here in Capital One. No Breaks New. What's up, man? Says young core looks its best right now, even without a point guard. And that's why Ben and I are just so optimistic about this team. Then Negro Jones says 4504 says, glad our youngins are getting some national attention. Great win on John Wall night. Hashtag Wizards. Yeah, man. The Wizards fans out here, appreciate 75 of you here. It's awesome because at the end of the day, Ben and I love covering this team. And we want this team to succeed. Seeing where this team's at, year 3 of a rebuild from how it started with trading Bradley Beal, you see the progress. Wizkins, what's going on, man? Oh, go ahead, man. What you about to say?
No, you can go through this one first.
Shout out to Bub, fearless shooter. This game showed how much depth we have in youth. I want to say it again one more time. The way people, Wizards fans, were just berating his name, how he was performing at the beginning of the season, sophomore slump. Understand, he was struggling, but how he's bounced back, how he's flipped the switch. Bub Carrington's going to be a key piece for this franchise when they start competing. 6-man role. I'm excited for it, Ben.
I think he did a nice job in this game settling things down late. And I was wondering if Keefe would go to the bench, take Bub out, and put Watkins back in. But I think Bub actually did a very nice job commanding the point guard position at the end of this game. And there's still a lot of Wizards fans, I think, that talk crazy about Bub Carrington right now. But he's evolving his game as a playmaker. We don't know long-term how that's going to work out. And obviously Trae Young will be this team's lead guard when it's all said and done, at least for whenever he does get on the court, and then likely next year. But Bub Carrington has to craft out a role for himself, and I think he's doing a nice job figuring out what works on the basketball court and just growing overall as a player. Still a work in progress for sure, but I think Bub has taken some nice steps forward over the last couple of weeks. We got to give him some credit.
100%. I also wanted to ask you, Ben, you brought up Marvin Bagley and how he could be potentially traded. Where do you see his value at? Do you think the Wizards could net a first-round pick?
No, probably second.
And you think it'd be multiple seconds or just 1 second?
Maybe multiple would be nice. I guess that'd be a fair asking price. Bagley's on like a minimum contract right now, but it'd just be a rental, and he's a backup center. So like nobody is dying to have Marvin Bagley, but maybe Houston would be interested now that Steven Adams is out for the rest of the season. So that actually could be a partner that maybe be interested in this deal.
Very good point, Ben. I was going to say also, Chris Middleton, is there a possibility where he's on this team post-trade deadline?
I don't know. He's played a lot better as of recently, and I see the comments right there saying that he deserves some respect. He absolutely does. I think everybody was pretty hard on him early in the season, but he looks like he's been a little bit more deferral to a lot of these young guys, which is a great sign, especially over the last couple of weeks. And he's come up big at the end of some of these games. He had a really nice drive to the bucket where he spun into the lane, got it to go with the left. And that was kind of the bucket I think they needed in that moment because the game was getting a little bit tight and they needed the veteran on the court to settle things down. And I think Middleton has done a nice job of just finding ways to impact the game without being like an elite level scorer. He's obviously not that type of player anymore, but he understands that. The Wizards around him understand that, but there's a lot that these players can learn. So if he's still part of the team, if he's not bought out, if he's not traded, I don't think it'd necessarily be the end of the world. You can go full youth movement, but maybe he impacts you too much. If you're really interested in like losing the rest of the games, then I don't know, maybe I guess you buy him out, give him an opportunity to go compete, try to win a championship somewhere else. I'm cool with that too, but I'm good with the way Middleton's played as of recently.
I will say, if you move on from Chris Middleton, that opens up more minutes for Jamir Watkins, so that could be something to monitor. Groovy Entertainment,
right.
4321 says, franchise has been having a good year. Yeah, it's exciting, and I know they're not winning a lot, but you see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's only right, Ben, if I ask you, what is your favorite John Wall memory? Because on John Wall night, there were a lot of them.
Yeah, so I replied this somewhere on Twitter. It was definitely in this building against the San Antonio Spurs. It was overtime of a game in 2014. The Wizards were down 115 to 113, and on the inbound, Wall came from behind the dude, tipped it to himself, stole it away, and took it all the way coast to coast to tie the game, send it to double overtime. And unfortunately, they actually lost the game. But I thought that was such an incredible play that just kind of encapsulated how good he was, how electrifying he was as a player, because it was everything all in one basket for Wall. The clutch gene, the speed, the athleticism, the ability to get it done defensively and use that strength to his advantage. It was like all in one package for John Wall. And in the scorers table, you know, that's obvious. Like that's obviously number one for everybody. So I wanted to pick something a little bit different. That was one of my favorite moments. I just remember being in my basement going nuts when he did that.
Yeah, I remember that Game 6 shot. It's so funny, Ben, that you were talking about that and he was just walking up the stairs. But I think, John, that shot, we were in 8th grade, I think, at the time, and it was just so electric because that was probably since the 79 season where Wizards fans were just amazed and just flabbergasted. There are definitely other moments. That post-game reaction interview we had with Chris Miller, who was a reporter at the time, after John had a great game against, I think it was against the Boston Celtics in double overtime, and unfortunately his friend Maya passed away due to cancer, and just the emotion that he brought to the city, that dunk that he had against Atlanta when the team was down by 20, went coast to coast in less than a second. I remember I forgot it was Mark Jones or someone when it was Toronto versus Washington, that sweep in 2014, where he said John Wall is quicker than gossip, and he was just so fast. His ability to just finish with his left hand, he could dunk with his left hand. It was so funny because he was right-handed, but it looked like he could finish better with his left. John Wall did everything in the city, Ben.
He did it every single time with the left hand. I want to wrap up with this comment right here. I think this front office recognizing John Wall's importance is a step in the right direction. It shows that they actually care about their fan base and want the fans involved. And I agree 100% with this tank. I think this take, not tank. I'm so used to saying tank. But John Wall was so important to Wizards fans that are around our age, if not a little bit older. Even people that are in their 40s right now, I think, have a lot of resonation with John Wall and what he meant to this city, what he meant to this basketball team, took them through some pretty competitive seasons. It just always feels right that a guy gets the recognition he deserves. And I think that jersey will go up in the rafters at some point in the next year or so. That just seems like something that's going to happen. I think it should happen. He didn't win any championships, and I had a hard time dealing with that initially. But for an organization that hasn't had a ton of blue chip talent, and especially not in the last couple of years, I think it's only fair that he deserves the recognition that he did, because he gave everything that he had in his body to this organization, to this franchise, to this city. He embraced it. The city embraced him back. And I think fans really loved John Wall. And the reception he got today is the proof of that. And the way the team responded in the night where they were honoring him part of the broadcast, John Wall is an important part of Wizards fandom. And I'm glad that the organization chose to honor him tonight.
Before we wrap this up, 81 people in here. Make sure you guys hit the Dougie. Wizards win 2 in a row on John Wall night. I understand, like Ben said, didn't deliver you a championship, but he was literally the DC legend for a lot of young fans. It was the reason, again, I'll say it again, he's the reason why I started watching basketball, started playing basketball. The influence that he had for the city, giving back, the volunteering, you put all that together, in my eyes, that's a DC legend.
It's insane to think about it. Now all of the young players on this team just grew up watching him, idolizing John Wall. They weren't even players the last time he was out there on the court. So it's crazy to think about it. I got a comment here from Austin James. Chris Middleton is the only one who actually played against Wall. Good matchups between those two. A lot of fun. John Wall honored, and the Wizards get the win. We thank you for tuning in to Locked On Wizards. Tomorrow we will be back in action for you. Wizards and Lakers live from Capital One Arena. We'll have the post-game show for you. Make sure you subscribe and follow Locked On Wizards so you get all of the latest episodes. Find us on Twitter at Locked On Wizards. Find AB DMV Sports Zone, and you can find me on my socials at Strober Sports. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Wizards ad-free, members-only Discord access, and more. Head to LockedOnWizards.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you the first ever 24/7 National NBA YouTube channel on audio. Make sure your second listen is Locked On NBA Game Night. All right, everybody, a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for watching. For my co-host Abdul Ayyubi, I'm Ben Strober. We out, DC family.